Hello and welcome to Sarah Overbooked. I am Sarah, and today, even though it's late, we're doing my October TBR. In October, I am participating in the Trick-or-Treatathon. It is a bingo style readathon where you make your own bingo boards. I chose to do 2 small 9 square bingo boards. I will show the first one here. The way I did the first one was I just rolled dice. There are 50 prompts. You just put a number in a square. My first roll was number 39, which was read a book with a clue game weapon on the cover or a mystery. I chose the Zombie Survival Guide. It has a knife and a gun, but it's not a revolver. Close enough. Machete, knife. It's a knife. This has been on my TBR for a really long time, and it is one that I need to read before the end of the year, so hopefully I get it done for this readathon. The second one I got was 13, which is read a humorous fiction, comedy, or tragicomedy. And because it is October, I'm reading Christopher Moore's Blood-Sucking Fiends. I'm a huge fan of Christopher Moore. I've read a lot of his stuff. One of my favorite books is Lamb, so I've been going through his backlist. The next one I got number 28, which is a book about books. And I chose Ink Blood Sister Scribe. This also will fulfill the prompt for the Buzzwordathon for the month with Sister. I would tell you more about these books, but I go into books knowing as little as possible about them. All I know is Ink Blood Sister Scribe. It's about books that are magic and they're written in blood. So my next one, I got number 24, which was an apple on the cover or in the title. This took me a long time to find. I didn't even think I had one, but I found one last minute when I was actually working on the second board that I made. This is Them Bones. It's the first in Mississippi Delta Mystery Series. And this was a hand-me-down from my mother, so I don't really know much about it. The next one was 24. Cobwebs or spider on the cover. I had nothing. So after searching through my TBR on Goodreads, I had never read Charlotte's Web, so it got put on there. My next one that I got was 36, which was a nonfiction, and I went with The Backwards Hand by Matt Lee. It's a memoir of Matt, who has fusing of the bones in his arm and wrist. The next one, 26, poison or potion in the title or factor into the story. I chose The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. All I know is that it's a dual timeline and somebody sells poison, possibly. Hopefully, because that's why I picked it. And the next one, I got number 18, which was a TBR veteran. R.A. Salvatore's The Witch's Daughter, which is the second in his, The Chronicles of Eunice Ael. I probably pronounced that wrong, but, you know, fantasy. The last one on the first board, I got number 38, which is author or core character named my name. Spelling can be different, and I chose Come Closer by Sarah Gran. I've had this one on my TBR for a while. Looking forward to it. Seems like a lot of people do like that one as a possession book. I did a second bingo board, but this one, instead of rolling dice, I looked at what I had on my library list and on my shelves and made a bingo board out of that. And that I started with number 48, which is Stay in Your Lane, which is read a book with a wintry or December holiday theme. And this one I actually already asked for from the library for the apple on a cover because I could not find one, or in the title. But it's The Apple Tree, A Ghost Story for Christmas by Daphne du Maurier. So that got put into that slot. And then I did movie night, which is read a book with an adaptation and watch that adaptation. And I'm going with Psycho. I watch it every year in October, because I also do a 31 scary movies in 31 days challenge that most of the time I can get done, but I don't always finish. But Psycho is always one of the ones that I watch in October, so I figured that would be easy. And then I went with number 27, which was Found Footage, which is read a poetry, mixed media, short story collection, manga, graphic novel, or comic. And I went with Long Way Down, which is actually a novel written in verse. Figured that would go for a poetry collection. It's written in verse, it's poetry, right? It's also my book club book for the month, so I got that in there. And then I chose number 3 because it's a thriller. Another easy one, read a thriller. And I picked Gone, which was also a hand-me-down from my father. And I only know it's a dystopian thriller. I don't know much of anything else about it. And then I picked, and I don't know why because it took me forever to find one, number 14, October, which is read a book published in October. After I found this one, I found 2 others, which I may switch over to. This one is short, Ants at Work, How an Insect Society is Organized. Reprieve and Starling House also, I have both of them, and they were also published in October, so I may switch depending on how much time I have left over. This is probably going to be the last one I read. And I chose number 37, You're a Monster, which is read a monster romance, which no. Or a book where your main character is a non-human character, and I chose Legends and Lattes. I've had this on my shelf for a long time, and I have been trying to find a reason to read it, and now I have one. And then I went with number 5, Dead Rising, which is read a book with necromancy or zombies in it. This one I chose Deadline, which is the second book in Mira Grant's zombie series. I read and enjoyed Feed a while ago. It's time to move on. And I chose Haunting You, number 42, which is a book I've been putting off. And this has been on my TBR, one of the oldest books on my TBR that I have. A is for Alibi. I've never read any of Sue Grafton, but I've had this forever, and don't mind the dog. It's been on multiple TBRs, I just haven't read it yet, so hopefully I can get to it this year. And then the last one for my second board is number 19, To Be Continued, which is read the next in a series. And I chose Amari and the Despicable Wonders. I just reread the first 2 to get ready for the third one, and ready to read it. That's a quick read, should be done quick. It's due back in a couple of days, so I gotta read that one next. But that's my October TBR. What are you reading in October? Are you participating in any readathons? Let me know down below in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit all the buttons, and thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.